Welcome back to DeezyVision. Yes, I know it's been a while since I've made a video. I'm sorry, but the good news is I am back. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the 30-day challenge that I just completed. And if you've been watching my videos, I posted a video a while back about taking on the 30-day challenge. And today I'm going to be talking about, the completion of my 30-day challenge. And during the challenge, people were messaging me and asking me, what was I doing? How was I getting through it? What was I eating? Am I taking supplements? The whole 9 yards. So today, I'm going to be giving you an update and a little view into how I got through the 30-day challenge, because it is complete and I made it through it. So let's get into it. Now, for those of you who don't know what my 30-day challenge was, I took on a 30-day challenge to not consume meat, dairy, or sweets. And a very important part of me being able to do this 30-day challenge and get through it was this place right here known as Essentially Alkaline, where they sell a lot of plant-based and vegan products. So let's go on the inside and I'll show you a few things that I use from them to get through the 30-day challenge. Okay, so we're inside Essentially Alkaline store, and I'm gonna show you some of the products that I had used to get through my 30-day challenge. If you look here in the display, C-Force is definitely one of them. It's very high in minerals, and it was something that they suggested that I use. So the C-Force was definitely something that was in my regimen. Also, this product called the Dark Matter. It's a intracellular detox and cleanser. Cleanses all of your cells, cleanses your organs, detoxes you. And this right here is a very powerful product. I can tell you from experience that this definitely worked for me. It also helps you to lose weight. And so I guess taking this was a part of me losing weight on my 30-day challenge. So this here is another one of the products that I used. Also, this product here too, known as the Electric Herbal Tonic, which is a blood cleanser. It's also good for your cholesterol, blood pressure, and stuff like that. And this is another one of the products that I was taking. Actually, I still take these, but these are things that I implemented in, as a part of my diet and routine for my 30-day challenge. And also, because I'm a male, they recommended that I use the Tropical Male Intense, which is a formula that's formulated for men. Balance your hormones, boost your testosterone. Also does some other things for the male body, but they told me that since I'm doing the no meat, no dairy, no sweets, which is like an ultimate detox, to repair whatever damage, eating those kind of foods might have done in the past. They recommend that I take the Male Intense formula. Now here's another thing that I thought I'd highlight: chickpea. Chickpea is one of those plant-based foods that is an excellent meal replacement, by the way, for meat. This could be used in various recipes to replace meat. I even found a recipe that was out there where you can make this and another item like tuna salad. So this right here is another excellent meat replacement, the chickpea. Also, to replace dairy, you want to use almond milk or even unsweetened coconut milk, which is something that I have been doing even before taking on the 30-day challenge. You all know that dairy milk and dairy products, they aren't good for you. They're definitely not good for you. And so you want to replace that dairy milk with almond milk, and you also want to use products that are almond milk or coconut milk or cashew milk or hemp milk based, to replace the dairy products, because they even have ice creams that were made with almond milk. So there are ways around using dairy products, and even they have different cheeses or types of cheeses that are not dairy based. One of the more common or popular meat replacement items would be the jackfruit. I had a burger made with this, and I tell you no lie, you could not tell me that was not a beef burger. In fact, it tasted better than a beef burger. So if you're looking for another product that could replace meat and something you can cook up and it's exactly like meat, then I suggest you try the jackfruit. I've had it, I've tried it, it's amazing. So trust me, try this jackfruit, chickpea. There are different recipes you can do with the quinoa and stuff like that. And those are some of the things that I tried on this 30-day challenge. Okay, so as a sweetener, to replace sugar as a sweetener, I used agave, or I used the monk fruit liquid sweetener, which is in a liquid form, just like how this agave is. Trust me, I found it to sweeten better than sugar. You don't have to use much of it to get a good taste out of whatever you're sweetening it with. I've used this to make my smoothies, my Seymour shakes, the whole 9 yards. So agave would be something that I would suggest you use as a sweetener, especially if you're diabetic, you're trying to cut back on carbs, and just cutting back on sugar on the whole because of the low glycemic index. And you can also use the organic coconut sugar as a sweetener, replacement for sugar also. This is also very good. I've used it before. An excellent sweetener, especially for smoothies and when you're doing your baked goods. I just want to give you a brief look at most of the things that I have been consuming during my 30-day challenge also. No, this is not my kitchen, but I was taking counsel from the nutritionist here at Essentially Alkaline, and so I would go to the food store and get these same things and consume these and cook these at home. Another thing, mushroom is also an excellent meat replacement. You cook it right, you could make sandwiches out of it, you could put it on the side of your rice. You definitely, once you cook it right, you definitely won't even realize you're not eating real meat, because it's just that good. Okay, have here Mr. Julio Hall, who is a nutrition specialist here at Essentially Alkaline. We also can do consultations with you.
Also online consultations.
Right. And so I'm going to let him tell you or give you some information on, if you want to take on a 30-day challenge such as me, how to properly approach it. Because he's one of the reasons why I did take on the challenge.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. A lot of persons have been trying to administer the new self to help to boost their self-esteem, help with their digestion issues. Like, for example, you are obese, as I might say, overweight. Most definitely, you're diabetic. You have any sort of health concerns, or you're just trying to eat healthier. The 30-day challenge is a good start. Some persons start at 2 weeks, which is fine, 14 days, but doing it for a month, I'm going to give you like step-by-step breakdown on how it actually benefits you and how to actually apply. So the benefits are, you definitely would do a detox. The body starts to reset itself after about 7 to 8 days. After a cleanse and a detox, it starts to help to restore and heal the colon. So whatever issues you might have had that's built up, it's going to start to actually detox itself, or pretty much get rid of it. You're going to lose weight, that's a definite, especially if you're doing certain content or herbal content, which helps to remove toxicity built up, food that's undigested, bacteria, germs, all of these things that would have given the body a fighting chance of healing itself, right? And I use it restoration. It's a restoration process. The word healing is so profound in most cases because the body has the ability to restore itself, All right, so that's a good thing. So a 30-day challenge will give you the ability to boost your energy, helps to detox, helps you to lose weight. It's going to replenish the skin. It's going to help with hair growth issues. It's going to boost testes or testosterone for male. It's going to boost estrogen level for female. So there's a lot of benefits with that. It's also going to remove impurities built up in the system by detoxifying liver, kidney, colon, lymphatic system, the thyroid, the lungs, the epidermis. A lot of persons don't know that after every 7 years, your organs start to regenerate, but you need the right sufficient minerals for that to take place. And if I'm correct, I know Deezy, you were on the sea moss for a while. Sea moss has about 92 essential minerals, so we do tell most persons to apply the sea moss to their diet. It's well known. It's known as a Condus crispus in some cases. It's just a seawater algae, and there are different types. There's kelp, there's fucus or the lera, the escalade, which is also one of them. There are different types of sea moss, like the black sea moss, the wild sea moss, the Irish moss, the Condus crispus, which we all know to be. So there are different types of sea moss, and these have about the essential of 92 to 102 minerals to fight what the body actually uses. So what it really does is it helps to mineralize the system and the cells where you're lacking those food and those minerals. What happens is most of us here do not eat sufficient minerals. The standard American diet, the Bahamian diet, is only comprised of high carbs, high starch, high dairy content. We eat that every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's why most of us here have issues like diabetes and hypertension and circulation disorders and fibroids and scar tissues and all these things that affects you as you go along. So doing a 30-day challenge, what it does, it starts to replenish and restore the system. It's quite easy. The steps are very, very easy to do. And you apply intermittent fasting to the concept. All you have to do is avoid breakfast, so you don't eat breakfast, and your first meal will be around 11 or noon, high noon. And if you pay attention to pretty much how society is when it comes to wildlife, when it comes to vegetation, you realize that that's how the system really is. You're supposed to have your first meal at noon or high noon, and you have your last meal by sunset. That way the body has about 16 hours to digest and restore itself, and that is the one thing we don't do. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and so the system don't have enough time to digest its food and restore itself, and then we end up waking up tired or fatigued or drained. So that is the first step. The second step pretty much is try to consume at least a gallon of spring water, preferably spring water, because spring water has a lot of minerals and your body does need these minerals. All right, water that's been filtered and pretty much could affect you in some ways because it has a lot of chlorine inside of it, and chlorine could damage the liver, the pancreas, and the kidney, and most of us has kidney stones or gallstones. That's the issue that most of us have. So you want to pull away from filtered water the best way possible and kind of go towards spring water. There's a bunch of options. You don't have to particularly go for the one that is well known to society. You go for the safest or the most affordable. Like for myself, I would drink the Crystal Geyser, or I drink the Iceland spring water options. The Crystal Geyser is a more affordable options. I'm quite sure Deezy was doing this. He probably had a lot of spring water during this process because he lost a lot of weight. His skin cleared up a bit, and I noticed it as well. Some persons go for Fiji water, and it's because the mineral content is high in the pH, and the pH, what it's going to do is going to help to balance the acid or remove the acid in the blood or the system itself, which is the cells and the organs. So any type of spring water is a good option, and for me, my favorite water is the Evian. Most person that watches like my snaps or my stories on Instagram that follows me, they realize I always have a bottle of Evian water, mainly in the glass, because the glass pretty much contains the minerals, and if the plastic is not BPA friendly, you might want to get rid of that. So most of these plastics here are BPA friendly, and that's a good thing, but other than that, it's preferable to have your water in glass containers, especially in your fridge. So that way you have the higher mineral content from the water itself. Now the next thing you want to do is what we call crowding out, and this is something that he also applied. What he did was he removed the high content starch, the high content meat, the high cholesterol foods and dairy from his diet, and that's a must in a 30-day challenge. Removing the saturated sugars like cakes and pastries and cookies, breads, all of these high wheat content which has acid. Once you remove those, and I can give you a list, the wheat has to go, the white flour, the rice has to go, the wheat bread also has to go, potatoes, broccolis, any starch of high content, like carrots as well, has to go. And we have a listing of food lists that you actually could use to actually shop with as you go along through this diet. Dairy content like eggs, cheese, cream, butter, milks, pastries, anything that goes with dairy, ice creams and yogurts, cut that out or find a healthy replacement. That is the better option for you. So once you cut those out, what you're going to do is you're going to realize the cholesterol level is going to kind of balance itself. You're going to lose a lot of high fat or saturated fat that's built up around the system. So if you have like a large stomach or you have fatty handles, you have heavy fat under the arm, it's going to start to burn away quickly. Sometimes you could actually administer healthy fats to that as well if you want to, like hemp oil or grapeseed oil or some of the sort, and that will help you to burn more fat. Some persons use salmon because some fish content has that as well, but you don't have to really do that, especially if you're trying to eat more plant-based. You want to go for more healthier fats like the nuts, like the almonds and the walnuts, the Brazil nuts, the hazelnut. Those are the better options. All right. Now, once you do that, you remove the meat content, which is the heavy meat, such as the chicken and the steak. Those things that will cause the body and the digestion process to be a whole lot slower. You remove those, and trust me, your challenge is now on the way. And all you gotta do now is apply what we call plant-based food options. Plant-based food options is the alternative to what you would normally eat, but in a healthier derive of these foods that you're normally used to. So we have jackfruit. Some persons use mushrooms. I mean, sometimes too much mushrooms can't be that good because mushrooms help to remove toxicity, and some mushrooms could be poisonous to some people, especially if you have high acid in the system. So you want to avoid those in some content, or you can apply it as a mixture in different ways. So we have a step-to-step guide on what you could do. These are just the basic for how to start a 30-day challenge, and it's quite easy, quite simple. You have any questions, you could always hit up DeezyVision on this page. You could always hit us up online. We're available on all social media platforms. If you like and subscribe to the channels and the pages, you get 5% discount on all herbal supply, and Deezy will direct you guys here as well. So yeah, that's typically how it is.
Okay, so now I'm going to take the opportunity to give you my personal experience on the 30-day challenge. No meat, no dairy, no sweets. That's a hard challenge to take on. Now, for me, the most dairy that I would consume on a regular, even before going on the 30-day challenge, would be probably cheese, maybe some ice cream, and that would be it. But if you know me, you know that the meat and the sweets were the hardest things for me to cut out of my diet because, I like me my hamburgers, I like me my chicken, I like a steak from time to time, and hey, who doesn't? And also an important thing to realize, when you say no meat, you're talking about no flesh from any living animal. So that means no fish, no shrimp, no conch, none of that. So all of that I had to cut out because I'm a huge seafood fan. I love me some shrimp. I love me some conch, calamari, all of that. So all of that I had to cut out. I like me my sweet treats too. And my wife is a baker. So that part of it was very hard for me. But I would say that in the first 2 weeks were the hardest part. The first 2 weeks were very hard for me because, taking away something that my body is used to. And so in those first 2 weeks, it was very hard, and my body started craving and yearning for the meat and the sweets that, it was used to getting. So I would say that the first 2 weeks of it, they were hard for me. But after like the 15th day, it became easier. I started getting used to, not consuming meat. I started getting used to eating the meat alternatives and, cooking different plant-based options and making different plant-based options to replace the meat. And I got to take this time out to say a very special thank you to my wife, Mag Jo, because she helped me a lot, especially when it came to, researching different recipes online that I can use and that I can cook and eat. while on the 30-day challenge. And so I have to say thank you, Mac Joe, for helping me, and thank you for your support, because, that support was very important, and the help was definitely very important and much appreciated. I would say to anyone that's taking on this challenge, do consultation with the people that know and have the knowledge of it. Like I said, I was at Essentially Alkaline. I go there often. Sherman, Julio, they're my friends, and so they really helped me a lot. And they were actually the inspiration behind me even taking on this challenge, because that they are vegans, and so they were the inspiration for me taking on this challenge. And so get consultation from people that live the lifestyle, that know what they're talking about. They're nutrition specialists also, and so they have a vast knowledge of food and nutrition. So definitely to get your information before starting, because you don't want to go in blind. Also, plan ahead of time, budget ahead of time, because some of the things that are required to do this kind of thing are costly. You want to plan meals ahead of time so that you don't be running around trying to find something to eat, or just having to think too hard about it and then being stuck with no meal at a certain portion of the day. So plan ahead. Make sure that you plan your meals ahead, budget ahead. Go into a store like Essentially Alkaline, look at the things that they have. Go into the grocery store, see the things that they have as meat alternatives, and budget, and plan your times, plan your meals wisely, which is something that I had to do. So now we're going to get into my results. After day 15, I did a weigh-in. I was supposed to weigh in before I started, but I didn't have an opportunity to. On day 15, I weighed in at 231. After day 30, I weighed in again at 225. So I lost weight. I definitely felt a difference physically. I felt that, that my system internally was very clean. I felt that. I felt an increase in energy. I also noticed that, even my limbs were moving. I'm moving better now. I'm sleeping better. That's definitely a difference that I noticed. I now have more of an appreciation for plant-based food and plant-based eating. Even though it wasn't easy getting into it, after a while of doing it, you start to appreciate it more. The plant-based food started to taste better. Got myself back used to eating fruits, more vegetables. And so that was another difference that I felt. That was another advantage of taking on this challenge. And one thing I noticed too, once I started the challenge, once I got into it, my body craved meat and sweets and dairy less and less as the time went on. And so, I can speak for me and say that there's nothing that I had a crazy craving for. I didn't have a crazy craving for meat. Didn't have a crazy craving for dairy or sweets. So that's one thing I noticed. You retrain your mind, you retrain your body, and it contributes to your overall health. Feel great, lost weight. I'm going to continue on with it as best as I can. On the 30-day challenge, I had no cheat meals. I may have a cheat meal every now and then moving forward, but I recommend that everybody tries it. It's an amazing challenge. You're going to feel amazing afterward. You're even going to feel amazing during. I feel that it really contributed to the betterment of my health. Like I said, feeling better, more energy, sleeping better, lost weight. I can tell that, my system is clean, regenerated, recharged. And so I'm glad that I took on this challenge, and I would recommend it to anybody, if you want to contribute to feeling better health, to take on this 30-day challenge. And hey, I made it through 30 days. I didn't fall off at any time. I didn't cheat. At some points in time, I may have had a little more starch than I should have. I'll admit that. But other than that, I didn't cheat and have any meat, didn't have any sweets, didn't have any dairy. I made it through the 30 days, and I recommend that everyone tries it. It's worth it. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you go and you hit that thumbs up button and give it a big like because it really helps the channel. And make sure you check out all of the links that I left in the description section for you. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, I need y'all to do me a favor.